first we were going to do it here, but then I decided not to since it will help give the people who go to different schools an opportunity to come, Alright, we're going to begin with our song today, Holy Forever, which is on your next page there. 1,000 generations falling down in worship to sing the song of ages to the Lamb. All who've gone before us and all who will believe will sing the song of ages to the Lamb. Chorus. Your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name stands above them all thrones and dominions, all powers and positions. Your name stands above them all, and the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever. If you've been forgiven and if you've been redeemed, sing the song forever to the Lamb. If you walk in freedom and if you bear his name, sing the song forever to the Lamb. Sing the song forever and amen. And the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever. Hear your people sing, holy, to the King of Kings, holy, and you will always be holy, holy forever. Your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name stands above them all thrones and dominions, all powers and positions. Your name stands above them all. Your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name stands above them all thrones and dominions, all powers and positions. Your name stands above them all, and the angels cry, holy, all creation cry, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever. Hear your people sing, holy, to the King of Kings, holy, you will always be holy, holy forever. Just lift him up right now because he is great, greatly to be praised, and he is our great God. Announcements.
Amen.
Great job singing. You did awesome.
Amen. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So January 21st at 11:40 a.m. we're gonna have Brother Vernon. You remember him, Vernon? And special speaker all the way from Anchorage, Alaska, in about 4 months from now-ish, almost 3 months. We're getting close to the 3 months line. We'll be having Brother Walter for Jesus Week on March 27th, 28th, 31st, and April 1st, which is 4 months away. And then youth/P7 Christmas party at Sister Rick's house. You remember her? Sister Rick's? Sister Crane?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's going to be
yeah.
at her house.
I
Sister
forgot-
Flora's
I
running
forgot her
it.
name.
It's okay. So just you can either bring it to me or you can send it to that email.
Okay.
So we have permission from your mother, which I'm pretty sure your mother would
Well,
let
my
you.
mom's going, so.
Yeah. She's going to the ladies' one too, right?
Yeah.
On the 14th. Double Christmas party. Double party week. All right. And make sure to bring a $20 gift for the gift exchange. If you can't bring a gift, of course, let me know, and we'll work that out. And at the end of the year, we'll have an honor and awards day. So you come to every P7 meeting pretty much, and you help out all the time. So you're pretty high for getting an award. How many of you been student of the year? You and Jolene are tied. She's
What
gonna
about
be back with
Alex? I can talk to Sophia if you want.
you.
I will talk some sense into her. I will. We have
Yeah.
D-Block together.
I've also been working on trying to get other people to come to. I've been inviting Haley.
Oh, I can talk to Haley because her and Morgan are friends. So
Yeah,
I can talk to her.
I've been working with her and trying to get her to come. And Jolene has practice for something right now, but after the Jamie Shaw show, she will be back.
The Jamie Shaw tournament?
Yeah,
Oh, I have that.
she's keeping the,
Sport.
yeah, she's
Oh.
doing scorekeeping for that. Are you gonna play?
Mhm.
You're gonna take him down? So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're pretty thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. Who are you going against?
What?
Who are you going against?
The game? It's like PC and the Catholic school.
And Vanier?
Yeah, venue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then probably like schools from Alaska.
Oh yeah, 'cause they bring in,
And yeah, then he's Thanksgiving classrooms.
cause they bring in oh my gosh, I'm forgetting it right now. They bring in Hames Junction,
Yeah.
and they also bring in Skagway, right? Yeah. Those two things. All right. So you're pretty thankful for that. So today we're learning about thankful hearts. Life is not perfect, right? But we have things to be thankful for, like basketball tournaments.
Yeah.
Even for Christians, but actually Jesus promised we would have troubles. Even so, we have many reasons to be thankful. Basketball. When I was in volleyball, I was thankful for that. I was only in that for like 2 years. Alright, for those who don't mind sharing, do you have a worst Thanksgiving memory?
Worst?
Like, it doesn't have to be terrible, but like, maybe something bad that happened on Thanksgiving.
Chicken got bored.
Oh, what?
The chicken got bored.
That's a good one. Also, or it could be your family got into an argument, or you didn't get a turkey that Thanksgiving, or maybe you like ham, or maybe you didn't get a ham that Thanksgiving, so you're pretty upset about that. Do you prefer ham or turkey?
Turkey.
So maybe you didn't get a turkey, maybe your family brought in a ham, so you're pretty upset about that. I remember whenever, I'm more of a ham fan, whenever my family chooses turkey.
Is it like the like thin slice like turkey? The ham?
It's like kind of more darker color. The turkey is more light, and it's like it has a different texture. But whenever my family chooses turkey for Thanksgiving, I'm always like, no. Especially when my dad cooks it. But the reason why we're talking about thankful hearts this week and not when it was Thanksgiving in Canada is because this book is an American book, so it's by American Thanksgiving. So by the end of it, it does ask, how should we be a blessing to someone this Thanksgiving season? I'm gonna change it to Christmas season since we're in the first week of December. We're on the third already. Hard to believe.
Yeah, school's almost over.
I know, we're almost in 2025.
And we can go for a youth club.
Huh?
For the youth club in Alaska. In Anchorage.
Like the P7 class?
No, the youth club. The one we did last year.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It happens every year, right?
Yeah. but it's gonna be later this year.
That's December.
Yeah, but they're having it in January this year because they don't want to do it on, because they have to do it Wednesday through Friday. They don't want to do it on Christmas Day.
Oh.
So they're doing it the New Year's to the 3rd.
Oh, so first
Yeah.
to third, okay.
Also, can you just use them photos today? Thank you. Alright. So we just talked about Thanksgiving memories. Now, take turns pointing out something great about the Thanksgiving you mentioned in our icebreaker. If nothing else, that you are alive and breathing. As a group, we're going to thank God that regardless of our past, He had made great plans for us. So what's something great that happened at Thanksgiving this year for you?
We got to like meet up with family.
Yeah, that's a pretty great thing about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Alright. Our first verse of the day, Ephesians 5:19 through 20. Do you want to read it, or do you want me to?
Yeah. Speaking to one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord. 20 giving thanks always for all things to God the Father in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
So this is written by the Apostle Paul. Do you remember Paul from Acts?
Yeah. It was like
Paul,
Saul.
who was Saul, but now was Paul. Hi, Alex. Alright, the Apostle Paul said to give thanks to God always. So, always for all things, no matter if it's a good time or a bad time. No matter if you win that basketball tournament or you lose that basketball tournament, right?
You always say thank you.
Mm-hmm. And even before you begin that basketball tournament, be thankful. Maybe you say thank you to the Lord before that basketball tournament.
And you might win.
Yeah. Or another good thing is praying before that tournament, because I know sometimes I go pray right before a tournament and say, God, help me win this tournament. And sometimes the best tournaments you do are the tournaments you prayed before.
Yeah, because it guides you.
Mm-hmm. Someone who was always on a spiritual hymn, right? So it sounds like these words would be exactly from someone who's the best buds, right next to Jesus, like, oh yeah, you're my best friend, I'm gonna always be with you, you know? But Paul had issues before, and he had issues. He was on house arrest. On the contrary, Paul's life was far from privileged. In fact, Paul wrote the Ephesians sometime during his 2-year house arrest in Rome. During that time, he was basically in chains in his own house, so he couldn't just chill down and do whatever he wants because he was locked up in his house. So he couldn't go anywhere. But even though he was having a bad time being locked up in chains, he reached those people who locked him up, which is pretty amazing, which is something he could be thankful for. Even though he was in chains, they had to keep on changing out prisoners because Paul was keep on reaching them, and they're like, what do? We have to keep on changing the prisoner guards that guard him because he was converting them to Christianity because of what he did. Far from living a beautiful, amazing life that you'd think that someone who is writing this would say, right? You'd think they have the best life ever, they have all the money in the world, they're not on house arrest. He had painful circumstances even before he was on house arrest. He could have became bitter or blamed God. He could have just cursed God and died, but he decided not to. Like Job. Job could have cursed God and died because his wife, his friends, everyone in his life was telling him, just curse God and die. Because he had the sickness, he lost his kids, he lost everything.
Yeah, all his like riches and animals and everything.
Yeah, but because he stayed grateful, he got more than what he had before. And even if God doesn't give us more than what we had before, or if he doesn't give us the greatest riches in the world, there's many other ways he blesses us. And we can always be thankful. Huh?
Maybe he has like a reason for taking it away. Maybe it's a bad thing, maybe it can be a distraction. You don't know.
Yeah. Or sometimes he's testing you, because he was testing Job to see if Job would stay faithful. And it wasn't the devil who suggested Job. The Lord suggested Job, because God only lets the devil attack people who he knows that can handle. Because he knows if you can't handle that, he won't let the devil do it. But he knows if you can handle it, he will let the devil do it. And the devil's not all powerful like everybody says he is, because he has to ask God, right? Because he has to be like, hey God, can I do this?
Mm-hmm.
He's not this big strong guy. And usually it's not the devil who comes to visit you. Usually it's one of his minions per se. Because they're like minions because they do whatever he says. Alright. Paul was conformed to a house where he was chained with no hope in this foreseeable future of becoming a free man, with the dream to evangelize and spread the gospel, being stuck in his house for so long that must have been painful. He was probably wondering, what am I going to do? Under the same circumstances, many of us might complain, become bitter, or even blame God. Or we might even curse God and die, because some people do that. Or some people curse God and kill themselves, because they're like, there's no point to this.
They give up.
Yeah, they give up on life because they don't see something better. But there is something better. We need to show them that. We need to show them a reason to have a thankful heart. Because there are so many other reasons other than having billions of dollars in the bank to have thankful hearts. Maybe God helped you get a good grade in math, science, geology, history. Because sometimes the best tests you get back are the tests you pray before.
Yeah.
Especially if I don't know a subject, I'm like, God. Or sometimes I say in my head as I begin a test, I'm like, God, help me pass this test. Especially when you have multiple tests. I'm
I
like,
do that too. Like, before every test, I'd be like, God, please give me wisdom, knowledge, and
and energy to do this.
yeah, I
Yeah.
always do that.
Best thing to have before your exams is prayer.
Yeah. But if you don't study and you pray, I don't.
You gotta mix those two together. You gotta
Yeah.
study and pray.
Because heaven helps them. Heaven helps them who help themselves.
Yeah,
'Cause if you help yourself, it will help you too.
yeah. Because if
You
you,
have to take action
Yeah.
too.
it's like when you're doing Bible study, like you were studying for Bible quizzing last year, you and me, like you would get the book out, prepare to study, look over the verses, write them down in your notebook, and you'd say, God, commit this to my memory.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't forget it and fail this. Alright, we're going to continue on now. So still Paul's attitude was one of gratitude. He knew what it was to have little and much. Because he had little. He had points where he had only a little bit. And then he had points where he had a lot. He knew what it was to be starving, having no food, and being well fed. Paul had learned to be thankful in every situation. I believe we have this verse up here. Do you want to read it? Philippians 11:13.
Okay. Not that I speak in regard to need, for I have learned in whatever state I am to be content. I know how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere in all things I have learned about to be full and to be hungry, both to be abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
And that's basically what we just talked about, how even though we may be failing at our basketball tournament or our volleyball or our exam, if we pray, God can strengthen us to do better. He can give you physical strength to do better at your basketball tournament.
Yeah.
He can do anything. Anything. There's plenty of songs about that. Anything is possible. So when Paul said in this verse, give thanks to God always and for all things, he meant it. He wasn't just like, oh, just give thanks to the Lord, blah, 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 I don't even do it. But how is this possible? Think of some of today's trending news stories. How can we have thankful hearts when nations are at war like Ukraine and Russia, because they're in a bad circumstance there, And then we also have Israel and Pakistan. And then I'm trying to think of another place that's in
Afghanistan.
Yeah. And then Russia also recently threatened that they were gonna start some kind of war with the U.S. So you also have that, like the rumors of war and the threatening of war. You know, how are we supposed to be thankful with all this? Or natural disasters are ripping apart people's lives, and high-profile murders are happening on a weekly, if not daily basis, right? So are we supposed to be thankful in a world like this? Or if you think back to a few years back, because me and you were starting high school during 2020. I know everybody hates when we mention that year, because that was a horrible year. And if you think back to 2020, how could we be thankful then with COVID? And some things I thought of being thankful then, I was thankful I had a house that I could stay in, where I could be warm, where we were all on lockdown. I was thankful I had food on my plate, because there are some people that probably didn't have food on that plate during that time, because many people lost their jobs, right? Because not everybody could do their job online. I mean, some people could do delivery driving because they could take food to people's houses.
You know that, you know it was like in the Bible, you know, like in the pandemic, like outbreak, you know, wasn't it? It's part of the signs, like he's coming, you know.
Yeah, like the pandemic, the war on Israel and Ukraine, especially Israel. If you really dig into it, you'll find that some signs of the time are Israel. And one thing I notice always is like something that proves God's existence a lot. So if you're ever trying to talk to someone about God's existence, like the Jews, like how much that one group of people is attacked. Because you think of Hitler, who had the Germans focus on taking out the Jews during the Holocaust. You also think of, there's so many events where they, you think of how much the people who all surround them hate them. And during the time before World War II, my history teacher talked about this a bit, there's a lot of anti-Semitism, that's how it's said, because there's a lot of people who hated Jews. And why do so many people hate that nation? It's because they're God's people. And then like also the fighting over Israel's land and Jerusalem, especially, because that shows God exists even more, because they are attacking where God said those are his people and that's their land. And like how they keep on like keeping that land, like how I think it was the British who put them there, something like that in the history. But like if you just think about that, that all shows to God's existence and to the end times of how they're all attacking Israel, because the Bible talks about like in the end days stuff like that will happen to Israel. And then the people in Israel are saying stuff like in their language, God come, so they can be taken up again. So stuff like that. And then there's also rumors of wars, like how Russia, Putin, is saying rumors that he's going to be like, oh, I'm going to go attack the U.S., which would be dumb on his end because the U.S. is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And like the rumors of people talking about nuclear bombs going off and stuff like that also shows to the end times, right? Anything else you can think of?
The signs he's coming. Also like Antichrist, but that's coming like in the future.
Yeah. And then there's also people.
The chip too. The like the little chip thing.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
Mm-hmm. And then there's, oh my gosh, I just had it in my mind.
And Christians being killed.
Yeah, because there's a lot of that in like, I think like Asia and Africa, because it's extremely dangerous to go to Asia and Africa.
No, it's not.
No. I'm trying to think of
Well,
where.
it depends. Like
It depends on where you go.
like West Africa, we like like for no.
Because there's some places where they like you and some places where they don't. Just
I went from some areas.
it depends.
You could say Arab. Like countries like you know like the Arab people.
Yeah. fighting against each other and all of that, and then I had one in my mind, but I lost it. But yeah, stuff like that. All right, we're gonna get back to this now. Where were we at? Oh my gosh. Just read. All right. I'm just gonna pull this up here and just show. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. It is God's will for us to give thanks in circumstances, but how is it possible? Oh, we just talked about that. As believers, we will face turmoil on sides. We do not have to be depressed or discouraged. In 2 Colossians 4, Paul pointed out that these trials actually end up working for our good as they create opportunities to glorify God and give increasing thanks to Him. Maybe, and there's more, another thing I thought about that also shows the times and the warning of the end times is like when like Christians getting in trouble more and people not liking them as much and
Accusations.
more people hating them and accusations and stuff like that, saying, oh, it's all their fault. We don't lose heart, Paul said. Through our bodies are wasting away, our inner selves are being rewarded every day. This easy is on earth, preparing us for eternity glory that can't even begin to compare, because we may face a horrible time on this earth, especially if nuclear warfare goes off, because we're all pretty much gonna die then. But at least we'll have something to look forward to escape that nuclear war. I'm just like, God, come back before nuclear war goes off, because it could be a slow death.
And you know, like Christians, we're not gonna like experience rapture, because when it blows, we all go up, and then the bad things happen.
Yeah. All right.
So we don't get to see the scorpions and all of that.
And the
And
beasts
the-
that come up,
The moon turning to
Blood.
and the sun fire.
like
No.
Acts talks about.
We don't get to see them.
And then there's also the different angels coming through. Like there's, well, no, not the angels. Like it speaks about the different people, the different spiritual things on the horses,
Oh yeah.
like the white
And
horse.
the black, the fire one, the black one.
Yeah, something like that. I know we have a series that digs into the end days fully.
And the seven seals too.
We can be thankful in the midst of our problems because they remind us that we have an eternal home to look forward to no matter how awful things get here. We are confident in knowing that we are living for Him, and we have greater hope. How can we give thanks when our world is a scary place? Because God is still good. The evil that thrives in the world that has rejected God's law only shows that good He is in compassion. Like, you can think of many bad people who try and go against God's law, like Hitler, for example, like we were talking about earlier, because he tries to make himself like God, all this powerful, great. And he likes getting all the attention, or you can think of Putin for nowadays reference. Or sometimes presidents will try and make themselves look like God, and they like all the attention. If we internally were vast sandy beaches, our time on earth would be like a smallest grain of sand. If we follow Jesus, we live our life with endless joy, peace, and perfect contentment. All right, we're going to end with that. Next week is an excellent spirit. So, yeah, we have a whole series that talks about eternity. Sorry.
Oh, is that next week?
That's a few weeks from now, I think. After Christmas break, I think. Because we have a lesson on entertainment, like what entertainment is and stuff like that.